Dream big. 2 words, 2 syllables, but a whole lot of meaning. Those words have been passed around by many people in many generations, but out of all those people and all those generations, no one has said it more proudly than Mr. Charles Schulz. Now, you must be wondering, who is Charles Schulz? Who am I? Well, I'm only going to answer half of those questions. And the other half, I'll just let it be a mystery. But I will tell you this. Charles Schulz, amazing work, good person, very inspirational. And hopefully, through this whole introduction, you'll find me as inspirational or even more than Mr. Charles Schulz. My characters throughout the years have a lot to go through. A lot of character developments, a lot of ups and downs, but through it all, I do think that I've persevered. 2 major impacts that I've gotten or been introduced to that helped me shape my persona would be music and my friends and family. Although I'm still a teenager and I do understand that, I do hold a lot of goals that I wish to achieve as my life progresses. Another thing that I have is I believe would be majority of weaknesses and the minority of strengths. But as my life goes on, I do hope that that whole thing balances out. But, only time will tell. A last strength that I think I possess would be I'm very optimistic and at least hopeful in certain things, especially when it comes to school. When a test comes along, I try to hope for a good grade, and I do see myself as a glass half full type of guy. But with great strength comes, more great weaknesses. And with that being said, let's continue with my weaknesses. A strength that I believe that I possess would be being hopeful, or at least being optimistic in certain situations. One of those situations being school. When a test comes along, I try to hope for the best and try to get a good grade. I see myself as more a glass half full type of guy. But with great power comes great weakness, and not for it to be a rough session about myself, but let's talk about my weaknesses. I do believe I have a very common weakness, with that being I am more of a schedule guy. I like everything planned, at least to know what I'm doing for the rest of my day. I tend to feel uneasy when something doesn't go according to plan, but I've been learning to kind of cope with that situation when it occurs. Another weakness that I do think I have also would be that I'm not very patient when it comes to working with others. I feel like that also correlates with my planning agenda. I just feel more comfortable when everything is in one solid line rather than it being crazy and me not knowing what I'm going to do or what I'm supposed to be doing. I come from a culturally diverse family, being El Salvadoran from my mom's side and Mexican from my dad's side. And because of this, I've grown the strength, or at least got the skill to speak proper Spanish, at least enough to be able to have a conversation with my grandparents or be able to help somebody at a restaurant or at least a store if they need a translator. This does help me a lot when it comes to at least my job. I work, like I said before, I do work with kids, and I do have to talk to some parents and translate. Or when it comes to having to write a flyer, they would ask me to translate for them. And I do think it's a good skill to own, or at least to have, and I do recommend it. As I continue school, I thrive to be a teacher. I see myself as more of an elementary teacher. As of now, I work as a substitute. Through Teaching Fellows, I go around subbing around different elementary schools, and I do enjoy my time being there and sharing some memories with the kids. It's a very rewarding job, although sometimes it would be a little tiring having to work with those kids, but day in, day out, I do think it's very rewarding, and I hope to be more involved in the school district as I pursue my teaching career. Another goal that I do have, a long-term goal, would be being able to have more confidence in talking to other people, or at least being able to say complete sentences without having to mess up too much. But probably one of my most up there top tier goals that I would like to have in my life would be to own a jazz bar, or to retire after being a teacher and then opening up a jazz bar where I can one play in it as a jazz pianist, host it, and also bartend, be able to bartend at my own bar and keep it as my own. Thinking about calling it Matt's with an apostrophe. Took that inspiration from La La Land, for those of you that know that movie. But those are some of my goals that I have, and hopefully all of us can achieve them as we continue our lives. Now to backtrack back to the beginning, where I had mentioned that quote from Charles Schulz. Now, dream big. Although it being a small sentence, small couple words, only 2 syllables, it does have a very huge meaning behind it. Anyone can have a dream, and it's very important that you should go and aspire that. Go chase it, and go try to do things that can help your way towards that dream of yours. Not every week will be a breakthrough week, nor will every day be a breakthrough week. But I do believe once you hit that breakthrough day, everything will just seem way better, and you just feel more reassured of what you're doing. And I hope to pass that down to different people I meet when it comes to the bands, or when it comes to talking to people in college as well. That's also a strength that I also have to work on, is have an open mind to other things, and being able to talk to people without choking up, and again, being able to finish a sentence. But taking this class, I do believe that it will help me achieve, or at least work on that weakness that I have. And I hope this goes along for everyone else who relates the same. Thank you for having me.